So as I mentioned earlier, we are going to start with what? The updated what? Cash book. Yeah. So the updated cash book will be M to Melo. Don't forget the title. M to Melo. Updated what? Updated cash book. So our first thing we are going to look at, we are going to take the what? Balance breakdown. So here you have to take note that if the balance carried down is what for August, you have to take what? Take the balance breakdown for September. Yeah. Then if it's September, you take the balance breakdown for what? If it's September, you take the balance breakdown for November. Just like that. You have to be careful, because if you pick the balance breakdown for the same month, your answer will be wrong. Yeah. So M to Melo's updated cash book, you have to put the title M to Melo updated cash book. Yeah. So the format goes like this. Yeah. Accounts is simple, guys. Yeah. Very simple. Yeah, and I also offer tuitions. Those that would be interested, you can contact me on WhatsApp. I'll drop the line. Yeah. So you have date, you have details, then you have folio, then you have debit, then you have also credit. So another important point you have to note is the bank statement and what? And the cash book have some differences there. So the debit side in the bank statement represents what? Payments. We talked about this. Then the credit side represents what? Deposits in the bank. Whilst the debit in the cash book represents the deposits. And the credit represents the what? Payments. So if you can look here, you can conclude that the bank statement and the cash book are opposite of one another. Yeah. So in the bank statement, if you see the transaction is debited in the cash book, you credit it. If you see a transaction is debited in the what? In the cash book, you what? You credit in the bank statement. So this principle is the one we're going to be using. Yeah. So first thing we wrote there, where we wrote our balances. Yeah. Here. So we had our balance carried down, which was how much? 14,000. Yeah. From the question, you can go back and check from the question. Yeah. See. So the balance breakdown for September. There the box ended at August 31st. So you have to add another box for September 31st, which will be the credit side. Yeah. So the balance breakdown was what? 14,020 kwacha. So you say balance breakdown was what? 14,020 kwacha. Then our first transaction which appeared on the bank statement was what? Farmers House dividend. And it was on the what? Credit side of the bank statement. Meaning in the cash book it will be on the debit side. So you have to indicate here what 4,645, which was the farmer house dividend. Yeah. Then next we add what? The standing order and what? Bank charges. Both these transactions appeared on the what? Debit side of the bank statement. So meaning in the cash book they will appear on the what? Credit side because they were payment. Yeah. So we add 500 for standing order. And we add bank charges to be what? 140. Yeah. Then you say balance carried down. Then you close account. So you have to balance it off. That's the meaning of closing the account. You have to balance them off. Then you have balance brought what? Down. Yeah. So how can we balance of this account? So you add the greater side. That's the first step. So you can see that this side is greater than this side. So if you add this side, you get 14,060. Even here you put the same thing. 14,660. Yeah. Then you say since this side is greater than this, so you have to subtract now this side which is greater with the smaller. So if you subtract 14,660 minus this, you get what? 10,015. You also put here 10,015. So once you are done, this means you have finished the updated cash book. Then you have gotten even what? 4 marks. Yeah. So this is how simple it is and how simple it is to prepare the updated what? Cash book. So next you are going to see how we prepare the what? The bank reconciliation. So again you say M to Melu what? Bank reconciliation. Yeah. So to be here. Yeah. So we have what? 2 boxes just like that. Then you have K. Yeah. So the first thing again, the balance you take is what? Balance breakdown. So here we'll be just dealing with balance breakdowns for the next month. So again here you pick the balance breakdown for the updated cash book. That's the first balance you put in the bank reconciliation. So you will say balance as per updated cash book. Dated what? Cash book. Which is what? 10,015. Yeah. Then you say add what? You add what? Unpresented what? Unpresented checks. Yeah. Then these unpresented checks, we said that in the what? In the cash book there are deposits as I showed you. So the rule is just simple. So here we are unpresented what? Checks. In the cash book they were debited. So in the bank we should what? Credit, meaning we add to this credit what? Amount. Since this is the credit amount, so you have to add what? Unpresented checks. So you say 800. Then you get what? If you add, you get 10,815. Then this you say less what? uncredited what checks. So uncredited checks again, they are what? Credit side of the cash book, meaning in the bank they will be on the what? Debit side. So if this is the credit amount, meaning you have to what? Subtract, since this unpresented check first in the cash book it was what? Debit. And the balance we have is what? Credit. You have to take note of that. Since we picked this, so which means this is the credit balance. Yeah. And this is the debit what? Transaction, meaning credit and debit you have to what? Add. I mean, in the cash book this was debit, so in the bank it will be what? Credit. Yeah. Then this in the cash book it was credit, meaning in the bank it will be what? Debit. So meaning this you add, then this you do what? You subtract. So you subtract now 2,450. This uncredited check was for what we wrote here. So the uncredited check was for Team Bell. It was on the credit side of the cash book. So meaning in the bank it will be what? On the debit. So you have to add. Okay. I mean you have to subtract. Then the unpresented check was debited in the cash book, meaning in the bank it should be what? Credited, meaning you have to add to the credit balance. Yeah. Then after you subtract 10,000 minus 2,000, you get now the balance as per bank statement, which is 8,300 and what? 65, as I told you. So meaning you have balance. So meaning you have gotten here 3 marks. Yeah. So let's recap quickly on what we did. So we began by saying that before you start preparing your updated what cash book and your bank reconciliation, you have to take into consideration the balance which you are using. You have to use always the balance breakdown for the next month. I told you if it is August, you take the balance breakdown for September. Then if it's September you are dealing with, you get the balance breakdown for what? November. That's the balance you start with in the cash book. Yeah. So the balance you start with in the cash book, you have to get it from the cash book in the question, which is missing, which is wrong. That's the cash book you take. Then after you take the balance from that cash book, you post it into the updated cash book. Then after you post it, again you pick the balance breakdown in the updated cash book, you bring it into the bank reconciliation. So we looked at some transaction, a standing order, bank charges. Yeah. So basically this is the entire topic on bank reconciliation. Yeah. So feel free to try out my questions at the end of the video.